And good morning at 7:04 on this Monday. It's May 15th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. On a Monday morning, we welcome you to our program. Hope you had a nice weekend and a nice Mother's Day for everybody, especially the mothers who are honored. Don Hamlet is here this morning to talk about Absolute Kubota. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Absolute Kubota is located at 1506 West Main in Lebanon. Don is one of the salespeople there. He's chief. We say chief cook, bottle washer. You're chief salesman, and I don't know what goes with that.
That'll work.
But you'll find the Kubota tractors. You'll find hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs, all those good Kubota products. Plus, you'll see Land Pride and Hustle and Landmark and Red Max trimmers and blowers, just to name a few.
That's right. We got a lot of stuff there in stock. A couple of things I want to go over this morning. You may have some more questions for me. One thing that some people may not know that is a thing is trading in your lawnmowers, trading in any of your tractors, RTVs, side-by-sides. That is definitely a thing, and we wholeheartedly take that on and would love to trade in your equipment on some new equipment. With this last week's warm weather that we had, I've noticed that my zoysia grass has finally turned green, which makes me realize that with the amount of rain we got a little bit more this morning. I don't know if people got up early enough or you heard the thunder rumbling. Hay equipment. Went out the other day and moved some stuff around on the lot. We've got disc mowers, rakes, and tedders and balers. We've got that stuff set up, ready to go for you. So if you're getting ready to get out there, it's typically Memorial Day weekend. People get out. It's a long weekend. They get out and cut hay and put hay up. We've got all that stuff set up, ready to go for you. So if you're out and working, and if you're getting your stuff ready, and you think, you know what, this year may be the year I need a new disc mower. We look forward to trying to trade yours in and get you into a new piece of Kubota equipment.
And whether you have an old one to trade in or just want a new piece of equipment, either way is fine. But I think you hit on something there. We haven't mentioned that much here on Monday mornings about trading in your old one. But
we haven't.
That's the way most people do, I guess.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, and we'll trade in any kind of equipment. You and I have said here for years and kind of joked, I'm not going to say my competitor's name on my airtime space. I'll say colors like red and green and blue and things like that. And the people out there that have those equipment, they know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And, we'd be glad to try to give you an offer to trade your equipment in. We have people call us every week wanting to know, hey, do you have a used 30 horsepower tractor? It's great for both sides. Somebody looking for used and somebody wanting to move up.
Well, you have a big variety, too, but although you're mostly geared for the smaller farms.
Well, I think in America, that is typically under 40 horsepower. Kubota, over the last 15, 17 years or so, has been the number one selling tractor in the U.S. under 40 horsepower. Mm-hmm. That is our bread and butter, and, there's very few people that farm 400 acres. But there's a lot of people that can farm 15 to 40 acres, around here, or maybe not farm it, but at least they need a way to work it. I've jokingly said that, if you've ever got a tractor with a loader, you'll never need a wheelbarrow ever again.
You've said that many times.
And if it doesn't mean anything to you, then you haven't had your hands on a wheelbarrow enough. But if you do put your hands on a wheelbarrow, that means something to you,
I've had my hands on a wheelbarrow several times.
Me too, and it's not fun. But, there's always pieces of equipment out there, whether it be implements or the tractors, the lawnmowers, that make our jobs easier. And that's what their function is to make your life easier and more enjoyable.
Well, you do a lot of business, I know, with people who cut yards, either part-time or that may be their livelihood. But they
Correct.
Need good mower. They need good service for that mower.
We've got all that in stock. We've got good commercial equipment all the way down to the guy that's just taking care of his half acre. If you want to do your service yourself, you can certainly come in and see our parts guys, and we have filters and blades and fluids, all that stuff in stock. If you're not the kind of person or doesn't have the time to do that, you can call our service department, ask for Clint. He'll get you an appointment set up. They'll get your equipment in, get it serviced, and get it right back out to you.
Let's talk about the trimmers and blowers.
All right.
Red Max is one
Red
of the
Max,
brands anyway.
yes,
Is that the
yes.
main, is that the main one?
That is the one that we sell at our store. It is great equipment. We have some of our people always ask, some people have heard of this or that. Red Max is great equipment. I have some customers or commercial guys, they may own as many as 50 pieces. It takes a lot of equipment to get out and take care of a lot of properties every week. But if you just have just your property, we have trimmers, grass trimmers made for home use, all the way up to the guy that is a farmer that may have a couple of miles of fences that he needs to get out and trim around, backpack blowers.
These trimmers are, some people know as weed eaters.
Weed eaters, that is correct. Weed eater is a brand. Like we talk about the Land Pride brush cutters. I say brush cutters because the other brand is a brand like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. So, there's just certain words that I try to use.
And blowers are important too.
Oh yeah, you got to keep your driveway blown off, and it's not really how fast the air is coming out. It's got more to do with the volume of air. You can have air coming out of a straw at 100 miles an hour, and you're not going to move anything around, but still coming out at 100 miles an hour. But if you have it coming out of a 4-inch pipe at 100 miles an hour, that's a lot of volume. Cubic feet per minute is what they call that. You can move a lot of grass on your driveway really fast and get done.
And time is of the essence, especially if you're professionally doing this.
To me, time, in my personal opinion, is the most valuable thing on the face of the earth. You can't make more of it. You can't get more of it. You only have a certain amount. And for sure, you only have 24 hours a day, and everybody has the same amount. But everybody has a lot of things they're trying to get done. And, you only have so much time to do it. So any of these tools that can help you get your job done quicker, it's worth whatever you're getting.
Well, it's worth you paying a visit to see what all they have available there. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, and just ask for Don.
Ask for me, ask for Caleb. We're there Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, 8 till noon on Saturdays.
All right. Well, good to see you.
Thank you.
We'll do it again next Monday.
Next Monday, yep.
All right. We are about 11 and a half minutes after the hour, and I'm going to go to the telephone right now. And I believe William Porter's on the line. William, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How you doing?
Oh, doing great. Good to hear your voice. And I ask you to come and be with us today and talk about what you do with Parks and Recreation for the city of Lebanon. Been a while since you've been my guest, and it's springtime, and I know you're busy, and I'd just kind of like to get what we'd call a full report this morning.
Well, that'll be good. Everything's full rudder right now. Like I said, you've got soccer going on. You've got all the baseball and softballs going on, and pavilion rentals are going like hotcakes at both Cairo Bend and the Don Fox Park. So both parks are pretty full all the time. So we're kind of like a one-legged duck swimming in a circle right now, just trying to keep everything going.
How long you been doing this? You've had this job for a good while.
Yes, sir. I've been doing it for probably close to 28 years now.
Wow. Well, time flies when you're having fun. There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, no doubt, but I think you've had a good team of people working with you over the years to do what you do and to do the excellent job that all of you do.
Yes, sir. I've got a good staff. We've had a great staff. We've had a little turnover in our staff. We've had Charles Brown and Jason Skurlock that had been here. One was 18 years, another one was 35 years and retired. So both of those have left. So we've got some new guys. But Dusty Jones is still here with me. He's my assistant director and longtime assistant director. Does a great job. And we've got some new guys, Nathan Sanders and John Tyler Moore, and so those guys have been doing a great job. And like I said, we've got Dwayne Grissom and David Erie. They run a lot of our park systems, part of that stuff. So we've just, and then of course our seasonal staff and part-time workers, we've just got a great crew that's getting a lot of things done and working hard and just trying to keep things going.
Well, I think you are responsible for quite a bit more today than you were 28 years ago when you started.
Yes, sir. It's we're definitely, the whole city's just growing by leaps and bounds, and we're no different. You know, that's what I told people. I ran into somebody at Cairo Bend Saturday morning when I was out there, and I said, you know, this little community right here will have about as a third of the people living in it as we used to have living in the whole city of Lebanon 20 years ago, you know, when it's all built out and done.
Yeah.
But that's just how everything's growing.
Well, you're of course responsible for the Little League baseball fields, and I just was wondering, we've had quite a bit of rain. How has that been going this year?
It's been going pretty good. Now, we lost some games last week, but up until last week, we'd been doing pretty good. So we were rained out Monday. We got Tuesday in. We had them ready Thursday, and then it rained at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and that kind of rained them out for that day. And then rained, you know, Friday. So they were rained out a couple of nights last week, but other than that, we've done pretty good. We redid some stuff on the fields last year, went to some brick dust and on top instead of the dirt clay, and it's just a lot easier to play on it. Doesn't stick to your feet as bad. You can play on it a whole lot quicker than you can the dirt. So we've been able to play, you know, 2 or 3 times this year when if we'd still had the clay-based field, I don't think we would have been playing, you know. So that's kind of helped us with the rainouts.
Okay. William Porter is with us. He's in charge of Parks and Recreation for the City of Lebanon. We're going to take a break right here. This is Coleman and Company up at 98.9.
Let's go ahead and see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, the Kubota Sales Blitz is going on exclusively at Absolute Kubota. Check out the #1 rated tractor band for durability and owner experience in the U.S. 0% financing for 84 months on most models. Plus, add an attachment to your tractor. Get implement bonus bucks up to $800 off, or you can take a cash discount of $2,400 on select models. This is for in-stock models only. Sales Blitz will end May 31st. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic building through the Mount Juliet area. Here comes that traffic through Wilson County, I-40 westbound, headed towards Nashville. It's been quiet as far as major interstate routes. Let's keep it that way as it builds pretty good. Also on 24, this is what we're looking at live right now, 24 westbound at Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway coming in from Rutherford County. It's just that normal buildup, but watch for radar 24 around certain parts of Rutherford County like Epps Mill Road. It's that time of the year to call Crest Pest Control. These guys do way more than just pest control. Check out their website, crestpestcontrol.net. I'm Commander Chuck, you're on time traffic.
Attention Cumberland baseball fans. The Cumberland Phoenix baseball team finished the regular season with a record of 35-13 and have been invited to participate in the NAIA National Championship opening round baseball tournament. The Phoenix will travel to Upland, Indiana for the 5-team double elimination regional tournament, with the winner advancing to the World Series in Lewiston, Idaho. Cumberland's first game will be Monday, May 15th at 1:10 p.m. versus 21st ranked Taylor Trojans. Join us for all the action on these radio stations or on WANTFM.com or GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Go Phoenix!
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Bador Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
And again, a good morning. Welcome to Coleman & Company, live, spontaneous, and unrehearsed, as we say. Remind everybody that on the second half this morning, we're expecting County Mayor Rendell Hutto for his monthly visit, and we are very happy to have William Porter with us this morning, who is the Director of Parks and Recreation. William, is that your official title? Director of Parks.
I think that's it.
And you've been doing that for 28 years. It's good to see you now. You were on the phone part of the way you're here live with us this morning. And I've got to say, I really appreciated the last time you were here. You brought your daughter, Addie Grace.
Addie Grace, yes,
and
sir.
she has been playing basketball for the University of Chattanooga.
Yes, sir.
Was this her first year?
Second year. second year.
And how's she doing?
Doing great. They had a great season. They won the Southern Conference tournament, so they got to go to the NCAA tournament. So that was
I remember. Yes,
so that was a big thing. I told people we were a 16 seed, they were a 1 seed, so we weren't going to win, but to go play in front of 9,000 people, a little girl from Lebanon doesn't get to do that every day. So it was a pretty big thrill.
No doubt, you're really proud of her, and she's one of the top girl basketball players ever at Lebanon High School, without a doubt.
I appreciate that. She worked hard, and we'll just, like I said, God's been good to her, and he's blessed her, and she's got her a good coach now up there, and so it's working out good, and so she's real happy.
I want to talk about what is going on out towards Murfreesboro, out 231 South. The city bought some land out there. Some soccer fields are being constructed, and give us a progress report, if you will.
Well, everything's going good. They've got about 3 of the fields ready for them to, basically what we'll do, they're all going to be lit. So they've got the bases ready for 3 of the fields so far. So they're almost ready for them to come in, start putting the lights up, putting all that in. And then when that gets in, they'll come in and put the sod in on top of those inside those fields. So they're coming along pretty good with those. The other 2 fields are turf fields, so they've got some work that they're doing, and they're kind of tied in to where the concession stand and the parking lot is. So all that work will kind of be done together. So those 2 fields aren't quite ready for them to do, but 3 of the fields are getting really close to being ready for that. So we're hoping to be.
Excuse me for not knowing, and you can't know everything. That's why I ask a lot of questions, I guess. But when is soccer? We don't play that year round.
Yeah, pretty close.
Much?
They play a fall and a spring. So,
okay, yeah.
So they have a fall. Ours has a fall and a spring rec league. So they play for 2.5, 3 months, then have a little break, and then play for 3 months again. So.
Well, it's gotten to be quite popular, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. It's a popular sport because, you can start them. They start them real young, so 3 or 4 years old, and everybody, they take them maybe a little younger to just kick a soccer ball than some folks do on catching a baseball or whatever. So, and most of the time, young parents are wanting their kids to get into something, get into it. So, you know what I mean? So they have a lot of participation, and they've got a lot of kids playing. And basically, we're the soccer for the whole county because Mountain Juliet doesn't have anything for their soccer. So if people play soccer, basically it's here in Lebanon.
What's the potential? How big could this be out there eventually?
Oh, it's going to be something that the city's really going to have. That's going to be something nice that they can, be proud of. It's not something we're just throwing together. These fields are being built where they'll drain like fields like you see on TV. It's not like us as the city's gone out there and moved a little dirt around, made a nice little level pad, and tried to build something.
City's put a few $1 million into
Yes,
this.
sir. And phase 2 will be the baseball, softball fields. And when we get the whole thing done, it's really going to be something nice that the town can be proud of, and I think can change the quality of life for our town. Because I just think once the baseball, softball fields get done and we get the whole thing built out, I just think you're going to see that side of the bridge on 231 get some things out there like gas stations and hotels and
How
restaurants.
long before you think this will be completed, the softball and baseball fields, as well as the soccer?
Well, I'm hoping I'm hoping that in the next year or so that we will have that ready, go into design and getting some bids and be ready to move forward if the council, approves to move forward.
As we grow in that area, that mean a few more employees for you?
Yes, sir. Even with the soccer fields, that means a few more employees for us. Like I said, we're already behind just trying to take care of what we got, much less adding new stuff. But it means that we'll have a few more people in the rec department. And it's not just the soccer fields. Like I said, it's the addition of the Cairo Bend Park.
Right.
Come June, that park will be a year old. You've got the Hartman Drive Park that's right across from Lebanon High School. Fred Burton's, we got a park over there in Fred Burton's ward now that's they're done with the bathroom and concession stand, and we've got to finish up the track part of it, and then that park will be kind of opened up and ready for people to come and use and
Well, I
do.
imagine you envision a lot of people visiting it all the time.
Yes, sir. I think a lot of these parks are kind of, like I said, they're in different wards. So hopefully the people that are in those wards will be able to use without having to drive to Don Fox or drive to Cairo Bend or drive somewhere. They can go to the one that's closest to them, kind of closest to them, and utilize the facilities that they have in their own little ward sometimes.
Well, back on the soccer thing, of course, you've been playing at the airport. Has that been there's always the element of danger. As far as I know, nothing bad has happened, but yeah, it's probably something you worry a little bit about.
Well, it's like I tell people, when those were built 20 years ago, we might have landed 3 planes every 6 months, and now we're landing 10 planes every hour. And so your risk just goes up, exponentially. So, and it just made sense to try to find another place for soccer. And I think that, the airport, that's their land that they kind of just lease to soccer to use, and I'm sure they kind of could use their land to do more stuff. As they expand, they'll need that land back. So between the safety and that, I just think it made a no-brainer. And that's basically why soccer got done before the baseball, softball at the new complex, was the safety issue at the soccer field. So,
all right, want to talk about baseball for a minute here. We used to have this CABA, I believe it was called, and you invited a lot of teams in here. I guess COVID kind of put a stop to that.
COVID, it was the CABA tournament was kind of on a slow death crawl, and then when COVID came, it pretty much just killed it out. When we first started, when we first started CABA, it was a great tournament because we had 25 teams, and maybe 2 teams were from the state of Tennessee. Everybody else was from, Missouri, Oklahoma, wherever. So they're coming and getting hotel rooms for a week. Well, by the time we got near the end, we were having, 10 to 12 to 15 teams, and 13 of them were from the state of Tennessee. So they're driving in and driving back home. Basically, you were just having a tournament,
Right.
It wasn't kind of, and then when COVID came, it kind of just
I used to look forward to having you and Johnny Davenport and Larry
Hubbard.
Yep, Larry Hubbard, and you would come here and talk about that. We did that for several years.
We probably had at least 10 years of it. So it was a great thing when it was going strong. And like I said, those types of tournaments are just the type that CABA was. That whole type is dying out because people they play every weekend now, these kids do. And so back in the day, you played a lot of local tournaments, and at the end of the year, you might go to wherever, like a World Series. And now there's not many World Series. They want to play maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's about as long as you're going to get. And they come in and they play, and then they go home.
What about those 2 ballparks, the Babe Ruth Park and the
Veterans Field?
Field?
Well, this year, Babe Ruth's, the Lebanon Youth Baseball has had the sign-ups for the Babe Ruth age. And so Babe Ruth, we got a Babe Ruth age that's going to be playing again this year. They started, they had 4 teams, and I think they're up to 6 teams. So they're going to play on Babe Ruth and Veterans Field. So they're going to use Veterans Field to also. So those 2 fields, we finally, Babe Ruth had kind of like what you talk about, travel had pretty much killed the Babe Ruth age group. And so they tried to see if they could get it going in the fall. And they made about 3 teams in the fall. So they said, we'll have sign-ups in the spring and see how it goes. And I think they've got enough. So I think evidently they've got about 60 kids signed up. So they've got enough to make 6 teams. So and some of that I think came in late because they, like I said, at first off they had 4 and they just kept taking kids and taking kids. So I think they got the 6.
That's something that I always enjoyed being a part of it with the Lions Club and working in a concession stand, this sort of thing. But for 13, 14, 15-year-olds, it was great until travel took over.
Oh yeah, I remember playing it. We used to have a lot of kids, a lot of teams, but once the travel took over, most of the kids, once they got through Little League, if they they went and found them a travel team to play with and played all the time.
Well,
So,
at least we're going to have some use of those two ball
Yes,
parks,
sir.
those baseball fields. That's
yes,
great.
sir. And of course, like we played flag football on Veterans Field in the fall.
Yeah.
And man, they just love that. They think they're at Titan Stadium out there playing on that turf, and so they have a big time. So we've been able to utilize it for some other things also. But yeah, we're going to have some baseball being
Okay,
played on.
well, at least they're not going to waste.
That's right.
William, it's got a minute. Got a minute left here. Time does fly when you're having fun. Sure enjoyed your visit. Anything you want to say before you go?
Well, I just like to say, like I said, I'd like to thank you and everybody. Like I said, you mentioned the Lions Club and that group, and there's a great group of guys that ran the Lions Club for a long time. Yeah. And I tell them those types of people aren't around anymore. You just don't have those types of people, and we've had a lot of good people to work with. We worked with David McKinney and a lot of those guys, Skip and Mr. Maggart and Odell Baines and all that group, and then we've got now John Pope and Rick Smith and Wayne Oakley and some of those that run what they've got now. And it's a lot of work for those guys. It's a lot of work, but without them, we couldn't do what we do. It's a partnership between us and them.
Well, I want to thank you for being with us. I wish we'd have you more often, and maybe we can, but really good to see you today, and tell your daughter hello.
I will. Good seeing you, Coleman. Thank you.
That's part one of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford. Get $50 off $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
I'm looking at an accident, possibly the injuries. 24 westbound. It's going to be near Walden Road. Now, this is slowing down that traffic coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 westbound near Walden Road. They've managed to move all the damaged vehicles to the right-hand side, but there's tons of rubbernecking going on. Traffic's on the increase. I-40 coming past the airport through Hermitage, through Donaldson. It's that time of the year to call Crest Pest Control. They do more than just pest control. Check out their website, crestpestcontrol.net. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
Collier Engineering is a civil engineering design firm that can provide surveying for your home or property. A family-owned business in Nashville, Collier Engineering has multiple employees in Wilson County, including survey manager Dan Curry. He's a registered land surveyor and a certified floodplain surveyor. He would love the opportunity to assist with your surveying needs. Visit collierengineering.com. Call 931-510-2800. Mention this ad and get 10% off.
A mix of sun and clouds heading back to work this Monday. Temperatures climbing through the 60s first thing, headed for a daytime high around 79. Our rain chances do remain lower over the next few days. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two. It is a Monday morning. Billy Mullinax joins us to talk about Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's good to see you again.
Well, it's good to be seen.
We were talking about the weekend. All weekends usually are good. You don't have to work. If you do work, you don't work as hard, maybe. But anyway, I had a good weekend. How was yours?
It was good. It was a good weekend.
And how's your month going?
Busy.
May is a good month.
May is a good month. It's always one of the best months of the year.
Well, you're again Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. Billy Mullinax is the general manager, and you've been there for quite some time.
Well,
it hasn't been. It was Rocky Williams before. It's
Yep.
Mount Juliet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram now, but you're the general manager. You're the man in charge.
Yep. And actually, I think it was Friday was 11 years, Coleman. That's
11
That's
years.
hard to believe.
Yeah.
But, yep, 11 years.
Well, you quit cooking steaks and hamburgers and started selling cars.
That's right. But it's still people. Still taking care of people.
We were talking about this off the air when you have a 7-day-a-week operation like a restaurant was. Getting to do what you do now, it kind of was a little break for
Yeah,
you.
well, that's true. That's true.
But still, there's a lot lot goes on in a car dealership.
Oh boy, a
Yeah.
whole lot.
You're selling new and pre-owned cars. You have a service department that you have to
Yep.
make sure is profitable, and
Yep.
you've got somebody there to take care of repairs and so on.
That's right.
There's all this buying and selling that's going on. There's a lot to it.
There's a lot of moving pieces, Coleman, but you know, it's a lot of fun because you get to meet a lot of people and take care of a lot of people, and that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Well, you are part of a big, let's say, there's a lot of car dealers,
Yeah.
and they are taking care of people's automotive needs.
Yes.
That's kind of what it's all about.
That's right. That's exactly
and
right.
I want to think you do a great job of it.
Well, we certainly try real hard, Coleman. We're not perfect, but we sure do try hard to take good care of everybody.
And we've talked about inventory quite a bit in the last few years when inventory, it was hard to get new, and
Yep.
it was hard to get anything really. But
Yeah.
but we survived COVID and all that, and you've got really a great selection now.
Got a good selection, Coleman, and new inventory. We've got about 140 now. You know, we've gone from a few years ago having plenty to having almost none to getting back to having a good selection again. So, you know, where people say a year ago may have had to purchase a vehicle that maybe wasn't exactly what they were looking for, but it's all they could find. Things are getting a little better to where you can be a little more selective about what you purchase now.
Well, we do want to remind everybody, as we do each week, that you can see the entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars at MountJulietCDJR.com.
Might even see your neighbor there, Coleman.
MountJulietCDJR.com. And of course, that stands for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, which is what all those new cars and vehicles that you're selling. Still, Ram truck's still a good deal, isn't it?
Coleman, they are still, you know, every year winning awards for this truck. If you know, I would encourage somebody, if you have not been inside a Ram truck in several years, they're fantastic now. Just come by. I don't, even if you're really not interested in purchasing one, you just want to see it, just come by and see them. Take one for a drive, and they're very impressive vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you said, won a lot of awards. They've really gotten their recognition.
Yes, they have.
And Jeep is a big seller too.
Well, Jeep is, of course, Ram and Jeep are neck and neck all the time. And, you know, the Jeep Wrangler, of course, it is kind of the biggest seller for us in Jeeps. And it's just an iconic vehicle, you know, been around a long, long time, been through world wars, and, you know, they're just very good off-road, dependable vehicles. But today, the Jeep Wrangler, Coleman, is really a lot more daily driver than it's ever been. They got a lot, you know, for a long time they didn't have some of the creature comforts that you could get on some of the other vehicles. For instance, a backup camera was one thing that used to not be available. Well, they're now standard on every Wrangler. Mm-hmm. And then there are other things also, but you know, you can get them almost as well equipped now as you can any other vehicle. So they're a lot more of a daily driver than what I would have called them maybe 10 years ago.
And as far as your pre-owned cars, you're doing okay there?
Coleman, we've got almost 200 pre-owned vehicles.
I would say that's doing okay.
That's we're getting back to a lot full of vehicles. So got a great selection. You know, ought to be able to find something that you like and fits within your budget.
Well, you can, again, check out the website, MountJulietCDJR.com. You'll see the entire inventory there. That's all the new and all the pre-owned. And your sales department is open Monday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., 6 days a week.
That's exactly right.
All right. What else you got for us this morning?
Well, Coleman, it's the middle of May today, or basically the middle of May, and
Well, tomorrow is smack dab in the middle.
that's right.
The 16th is 15 before and 15
15
after.
School, it's almost time
Yep.
for school to be out, and vacations are right around the corner. So, whether you're looking for a new or a pre-owned vehicle, or whether you're needing your vehicle serviced, we can take care of it either way.
Well, you sure can. 600 Pleasant Grove Road, Mount Jewett. Billy Mullinax, General Manager. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next Monday.
See you next Monday.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Is next Monday Memorial Day? No, that's okay, right. Yeah, we'll see you next Monday. Yep. Thank you. Well, it's Monday morning. You have to think twice sometimes. I want to welcome County Mayor Randall Hutto. He is here for his monthly visit. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not bad.
How's your weekend?
Weekend was good.
I bet it was busy.
It was busy, but it was good, and it's been a good month. I had a new grandbaby come into the family. For Alex and Rachel had their second one, which was on Tuesday at 12:31 last week. She was home just a little bit after 12:31 on Wednesday, believe it or not. But the little girl, 19 inches long and 8.4 ounces, Logan Reese Hutto, and so excited to bring the first baby girl.
Well, congratulations to all involved here, but you certainly are a smiling and a happy grandfather.
Yeah, it was good. Had a good time holding her this weekend a little bit. Yes.
Right. What's going on? What do you want to tell us today?
Well, just talk a little bit about what happened this last month as we look at solid waste in the region. They had asked me to be a part of a regional group, to talk about, where we're going with our trash and how is that going to be affected as Middle Point, over in Rutherford County gets close to shutting down possibly. And there's only a few of those out there right now where people can actually dump their solid waste. And we carry ours to Smith County. One good thing about the forefathers of our county really thought way ahead of time when they secured a landfill that we have out there, which is, I think, close to 600 acres, I believe. And it's quite a bit. And it's Class 1 permitted, so it could be a landfill right now. The powers that be have always said, let's don't take in other people's trash until we have to. But it is an ace in the hole for us to have that. So, those folks that thought on further down the road did a good job of that. And so I'm happy for that. But a part of that task force, and we're just looking at what can happen. And they've come up with a neat idea to get some seniors or rising sophomores up to seniors from the high schools, and have the 4 counties that have been pulled together to study this to compete. Maybe we got 7 schools, you would say, here in Wilson County, high schools. Pick one from each one of those and put them on a team and let them stay a week at Vandy. And they just think outside the box. They say a lot of times, as we get older, we have a lot of limits because we've run into some, walls, and we've backed up. So we can't go that route. But young folks don't think that way. And they have tried this before with a couple of other issues. And so that's a possibility that we may do that and just see how that goes. But I thought that was pretty neat that they want to do something of that nature. Been some building dedications. I didn't get a chance to go to the one they had for Charlie Daniels or Tracy Lawrence down in Mount Jewett, but a pretty neat deal to honor those folks there. Last month we honored Gresham Wilson at our county commission meeting for the money that she donates to animal control. So thought that was good. Thanks to Judge Sellers for being a part of that, as well as Justin Beasley and all the Mount Jewett crew that made that happen. But that's a pretty neat deal. Spent a couple of meetings last month working on the multi-level court system for Judge Tatum and Judge Hagan and all of them there, and so we met 2 times and decided where everybody's kind of going to be as far as what floor they'll be on, and with the clerks and stuff, and so that part's kind of been taken care of. Now the team goes back and they meet with each group individually and talk about what their individual space is going to look like, where their desk's going to be, where their meeting rooms are going to be in the courtrooms. So that will be that's the next phase that we're in right now. Once we finish that, get a pretty good detailed description, we'll call together probably 3 committees. I'd say the Budget Committee, the Law Enforcement Committee, Judicial Committee, together in kind of a workshop and show them the plans and get their blessing. Then once we do that, then they'll design the building, then put it out to bid, and then come back and see about financing it. But it is it's a long process, but it'll be a good process. And
have any idea about the time frame here? How many years before this will be a reality?
Yeah, the hopes are is around August or September, maybe October, be ready to have it back from bid and have the county commission vote on it. Right now there's enough funds in the county, in our debt service, on the general debt side service, to cover this cost without raising taxes, and so that's a positive thing for them to consider. And then, of course, a long time ago, it's been several years, the judges have asked about having this area because they're split, as far as where their offices are. We've got some in the old church and some in the jail. And so they wanted to always be together, but they were running out of room. There are a lot of court cases that we see go through, especially in Jimmy Lee's court in general sessions. There's a tremendous amount of traffic there. So, and of course, the county commission before this one decided, it was important to buy that property behind the jail and where the church was at in order to be prepared for this. And so this has been in that process. It's been going on for about 6 years, you may say, right now. And so it hopefully in August, September, October, we'll get the bid back. It'll take about 2 years. So we're thinking in 20, and it's 23 right now. So we're thinking 25 probably would be when we would open, August or September.
Well, a lot of people are probably wondering, and I am, will the old church building eventually be demolished, torn down?
The one where the jail is at, behind the jail, yes, sir, that's probably the route that will go there, because they'll build a new building in that one.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So it's the new building will be.
There's 6
a
acres
lot
there.
Where that current one is now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. But so we're moving forward with that. Had a chance to go to the Teacher of the Year banquet. Bob McDonald and W.P. Bone always do a great job of doing that and honoring our teachers. We're actually going to honor those tonight in a resolution, as well as the winner, Joanne Oxley from Watertown Middle School. I'm a part of a 4 or 5 county regional board, Smith, Trousdale, Macon, Sumner, and Wilson, that they call it's Tennessee Central today. It used to be called Four Lake, but it was 4 counties that were affected by the Hartsville nuclear plant when they went out of service, and they pulled those together and said, let's provide some jobs for the people that lost their jobs. And with that, we've had a chance for Wilson County to land a couple of grants opportunities for TCAT, which is about $10,000, and then also for Wilson Works, another $10,000. And they'll apply for those grants, but that'll be $20,000 to be coming back to Wilson County to help locate people jobs, maybe a couple of them. I've talked to May Perry at TCAT about, possibility of training, let's say 20 CDL drivers, because definitely we need those in the county, or electricians or plumbers, because those are a great need as well. And then with Wilson Works, Adina is working on what she thinks may be good to apply for there, as far as, again, her job is connecting the young workforce, out into the employers. So that grant opportunity is there. Is it time for a break?
Time for a break. Okay. County Mayor Randall Hutto is here, and more coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. The Kubota Sales Blitz is going on exclusively at Absolute Kubota. Check out the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. 0% financing for 84 months on most models. And you can also add an attachment to your tractor, get implement bonus bucks up to $800, or take a cash discount of $2,400 on select models. This is for in-stock models only, and the Blitz will end at the end of the month. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're still looking at this wreck out here in Rutherford County. So is everybody else as they drive by. 24 westbound at Walden Road. It's not the worst wreck we've ever seen, but it's just at the worst time of the morning for something like this. It's delaying a lot of folks now leaving Rutherford County towards Nashville on 24 westbound at Walden Road. Again, you're able to get around it. Just be aware of some debris that's still left on the ground from that crash. Traffic's on the increase 65 south at Trinity Lane. Radar earlier, I-40 through certain parts of Wilson County. Don't miss Ripley's Aquarium, Sleep with the Sharks Family Edition, coming up May 27th and 28th. Google Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Attention Cumberland baseball fans. The Cumberland Phoenix baseball team finished the regular season with a record of 35-13 and have been invited to participate in the NAIA National Championship opening round baseball tournament. The Phoenix will travel to Upland, Indiana for the 5-team double elimination regional tournament, with the winner advancing to the World Series in Lewiston, Idaho. Cumberland's first game will be Monday, May 15th at 1:10 p.m. versus 21st ranked Taylor Trojans. Join us for all the action on these radio stations or on WANTFM.com or GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Go Phoenix!
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup features performance-matched attachments to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/offers for full disclaimer.
Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon.
And we continue here on a Monday morning. County Mayor Randall Hutto, he visits us once a month at least, and comes out here on the day off the county commission meeting. We'll be meeting tonight as usual.
Yes, sir.
May meeting for the county commission. All 25 of them hopefully will be there, and you'll have business to talk about. You're going to tell us some of that, I'm sure.
Yes, sir, I will. Let me finish up on what happened during the month, and it was exciting to see William Porter. I was listening to him talk in the hallway out there about the park, the sports park, and that's a great need for our county. We've had that for quite some time, and I know that that will be a good addition, especially for our parents that travel a lot on the weekends to go play ball, and so excited for them and the city of Lebanon for doing that. And I think they've got a groundbreaking this morning, maybe at 10 o'clock down there on the parking lot right outside the square, which will also be a good addition because the square has really picked up down there as well.
Mayor Bell will appreciate you saying that and reminding everybody.
Yes. Well, it is definitely going to be a good addition down there because I know they have a lot of traffic these days down that way on the square, which is a positive thing. Yeah. Talk a little bit about Weymouth Station 3 and Station 10 should be opening up. 3 should be opening up May, probably the latter part of May, and then 10 the latter part of June. 10 takes a little bit longer because of all the work that's being done out there in preparation for the widening of Central Pike, which water and sewer and that stuff, that preparation stuff that needs to be done there, but it will be up and going. We will move all of our stuff in Station 3 as soon as it's open, so we'll have everything that we need back in that city limits. And appreciate Mount Jude helping us also with maybe doing some coverages of some calls and stuff since we don't have a house down there right now. They've helped us out with that, and we appreciate that. Joey Edwards, the interim chief right now, is working well to help us in that area. Got a chance to speak to the MTAR group, their luncheon, and give the state of the county. Thanks to Brooke Driver for taking care of me on my slideshow there. The expungement clinic was a good success again. Susan Shaw heads that up with several people, Debbie Moss and all of her crew and the judges. They come and really help some people get some things off of their record that's minor. They can help them get and land a good job and put them back into society doing a good thing. The Fight Fest and the House celebration was good. Miss Moscadelli had a great event there. National Day of Prayer at the Capitol was another good event. Jeff Gannon just had a ribbon cutting on 2 State Farm offices there, and he just seems to be cooking with gas right
Jeff is in high gear.
Yeah, yes, he is in high gear. Farm Day out at the Ag Center, didn't get to go, but heard it was a great event there, as well as the career fair that was put on by Dina Chumley, and then had a chance to say the prayer at the Compassionate Hands Dinner that John Grant started. Can't believe, but it's been 10 years since he's had that going. And congrats to all of our seniors that are out here that are going to graduate pretty soon. I'll run in real quick to our commission meeting tonight. Our commission meeting will start out with Jerry McFarland with the prayer and the pledge. We do have 3 items on the consent agenda with the Veteran Service Officer, the PEG channel, and the Finance Office having minor transfer line items there. They will honor tonight Beverly Sharp, 39 years of service. She's the acting principal of Mount Jude High School there. Kevin Costley will do that. And, of course, I talked to you about Commissioner Hall will do Joan Oxley there of Watertown Middle School as the Teacher of the Year, and also honor all the nominees from the other schools as well. Very deserving honor there. We'll have a public hearing on a rezoning for a property located on 8515 Stewart's Ferry Pike. That's in Commissioner Jones's district, so we will hear that. We'll reappoint 3 members to the 911 board, Terry Ash, Mr. Fred Burton, and Jordan Beasley will be the ones that will be up for the docket on that one. 5 members to the beer board, Wayne Beadle, Ken Davis, Alan Major, Sherry Hyder, and Jay White will be those that will come up. And then 2 on the Health and Education Facility Boards, Debbie Joins, and Brett Linville. Tonight, we'll have resolutions, not too many tonight. There'll be the first one to talk about changing the lot sizes here in the county on A1, R1, and multifamily dwellings. They will amend Rule 2, which is our rules of order, that simply says if a holiday falls on the Monday of our county commission meeting, it should go to the following Monday. The steering committee met, and we talked about this for quite some time because this holiday was just given to us by the recent passing of the governor. So we're going to go ahead and meet on the 19th this year, and then we'll be able to avoid that going forward. But because of budget time, they decided to go ahead and meet on the 19th. The offices will be closed. Everybody will be observing Juneteenth on the 19th, but we will have that county commission meeting that night if they vote to do that tonight. They could change, and we had proposed Thursday night because we figured that nobody would want to meet on that night, and we proposed Thursday night because of budget time. If we moved it to the following Monday, that's when we pass our budget, and there was any complication, we might run out of time before June 30th, so that's when we proposed that. But they had wanted to kind of keep it the same, so we'll move on that route. Do have some line item transfers in law enforcement for Violent Crimes Act that the a grant the Sheriff's Office won for $198,000, so that was a good one. They also had another one for a K-9 grant through the AKC Region Unite. That's $7,500. There'll be some transfer line items in education for the general purpose account to federal projects. Law enforcement also got another grant from the Litter Grant that goes through our office at $78,000. Public Works is asking for a transfer line item for $10,000 that they took to move the judicial commissioners from the old church over to the old health department. There'll be new laptops voted on tonight for the election commission. Line item transfer for the expo for utilities that's needed. A line item transfer in the sheriff's department that will go from the general fund for items that they need there, as well as a line item transfer in the ag fund to the ag center. And then the Board of Education will have one more line item transfer. And that will kind of sum up what we've got going in the county commission meeting tonight.
Doesn't sound like you got a lot of controversial items there.
I think probably some that may get some discussion. There's been some conversation about the rezoning of our A1, which normally in A1 right now, it's 40,000 square feet per house. That's pretty much an acre per house. They had proposed to move that to 2 acres per house. The committee modified that and said, let's just keep that A1 at 40,000 square feet. There may be a movement to try to push that back to 80, not for sure. And I think some of that's based on the fact of growth, although the county really only services really 12% of the growth over the past 10 years. Most of the growth occurs 88% within the cities. They also talked about moving R1, which was 25,000 feet if you're on public sewer, to 40,000 square feet, and 40,000 square feet if you're on septic system. But they were going to move it to 40,000 square feet no matter if you own any kind of sewer. They modified that one to go to 30,000 square feet for all sewer. So they actually raised that one up 5,000 feet. And then they took multifamily dwelling zoning out of R2 to R3. And I think Mr. Beshears thought that would really help the public get that one done a little bit faster, but also create more oversight to the county commission for those multifamily developments. And so that one will be there. So I think, that could bring on some conversation tonight.
Yeah. Well, I was interested in what you said there about how much of this is actually in the cities rather than in the county. That's the cities have got the brunt by far of the growth here.
They do. And, I think our county commissioners always hear a lot of conversation from the public about growth and development, and I think they're trying to answer to that call. But at the same time, they realize the people that they're penalizing for, and there's no question, grandmama that has a 500-acre farm, if they were to be able to pass the 80,000 square feet, instead of having 500 homes, they would only have 250. Of course, that there's positive and negative with that. That cuts down on the AFT that was coming in for those 250 that you lost. Made that starter home a little bit more expensive than what it used to be because you're adding an extra acre to it when you talk about affordable housing. but it will cut down the number of cars on that road, for example. But I think maybe the deal is it's not going to cut growth out because most of it's occurring in the city. And the second thing is probably is that I think a lot of times we think, well, if we do this, that farm won't develop. Well, it's going to develop. It'll develop. It don't have to be 500 homes; it'll just be 250. But there will be homes there, and I think that is what a lot of our citizens, would like. They like, just like I do, getting up and looking out and seeing the deer and the cattle and stuff, and and that just goes away as as growth happens, and it's happened here for us. So we're still the least populated county in around Davidson County now. Still,
How far are we from having a budget, or where are we in the budget process?
I wanted to talk about that a little bit. We are right at budget time, to be honest with you. Tonight, of course, we'll pass, our county commission will meet, and then tomorrow night, we've already met and taken everybody's budgets in, status quo budgets, and they've turned their needs list in. So then tomorrow night at 6 o'clock and at the commission room, and Wednesday night at 6 o'clock in the commission room, half of the departments will come and they will tell the budget committee why they need those needs. So we'll hear that on both of those times, and then we'll come back next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, and listen to the education committee and the budget committee. Will be a joint meeting there where they'll hear the superintendent speak on the education budget. And then once we get that done, and we've heard everybody's stuff, we'll meet back, I believe it's the 30th at 6 o'clock in the commission room there, where we'll meet, and we can use the 31st if we need to. But we'll meet on the 30th there and grant the needs that are there and hopefully approve a budget that we can send on to the county commission. Once that budget is approved in that 30th meeting or 31st meeting, Aaron will then post that budget out in the public 10 days for the public to see and hear. And then on the county commission meeting night, which is June the 19th this time, at 6 o'clock, there'll be a public hearing happening at that time for people to come and speak about the budget once they've looked at it. And then at 7 o'clock, hopefully we pass a budget, and hopefully we get another one done on time this time. And that is the goal, but that process is ongoing. And, we had a little bit of LaBronya Horton, which is in our finance office, lost her house to fire this last Friday, as a matter of fact. So thinking about her and in prayer for her and her family there. Lost a couple of dogs in the process. And so that's going to make it, budget time is tough anyway, but that makes it even tougher. But our hearts go out to her and her loss there.
Yeah. Well, we've reached the end of our time here. County Mayor Randall Hutto, thank you. We'll see you next month, if not before.
Thank you.
And hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a magnificent day.